Tessa stood at the doorway, her breath shallow, eyes still wet from the rain. The apartment was quiet, except for the steady sound of thunder rolling in the distance. Hardin was there, standing near the window, a faint light from the street flickering across his face. His shirt was half open, his hair messy, and his eyes carried that familiar storm she could never forget. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The silence between them was heavy, the kind that holds 1,000 things left unsaid. Her fingers tightened around the strap of her bag, but she didn't move. She didn't have to. He already knew why she was there. When he finally spoke, his voice was low and rough, like he'd been waiting for this moment forever. "Tessa," he said, her name almost a whisper. She swallowed hard, forcing herself to meet his gaze. The hurt in his eyes almost matched hers. "You don't get to say my name like that anymore," she said softly, her voice trembling but strong. He took a slow step forward, cautious, like she might disappear if he got too close. "I didn't mean to hurt you," he said again, and she almost laughed. "You always say that," she replied, tears threatening to fall. "But somehow you always do." The air between them was electric. Every second stretched too long, every heartbeat too loud. She wanted to turn away, but when he reached for her, her body froze. His hand brushed against her cheek, slow, careful, almost afraid, and that single touch broke everything inside her. She should have pushed him away, should have told him it was over. But instead her eyes closed, and she let the warmth of his skin pull her in, the scent of him, the sound of his breath, the way his thumb lingered against her jaw. It all felt too familiar, too dangerous. When he kissed her, it wasn't gentle. It was a collision of everything they'd been holding back. The anger, the longing, the love that refused to die. Her hands found his shirt, pulling him closer as his lips moved against hers with desperate hunger. It felt like drowning and breathing at the same time. Their kiss deepened, each second heavier than the last, and soon there was no space left between them. His hands traveled to her waist, his touch trembling but certain, and she melted into him, unable to resist the gravity of what they were. The room around them blurred into nothing. There was only the heat of their bodies, the taste of rain still on her lips, the sound of two hearts crashing together again and again. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was the only language they both still understood. The fire that refused to burn out, no matter how many times they tried to walk away. The storm outside had finally given up, leaving the night quiet and still. Inside the apartment, only the faint hum of the city could be heard through the window. Tessa lay against Hardin's chest, her skin warm beneath the soft fabric of his shirt, her fingers tracing slow circles on his arm. Every rise and fall of his breath echoed against her, calm now but still trembling from the chaos that had brought them here. Neither of them spoke at first. Words felt too heavy, too small for the silence that surrounded them. What had just happened between them wasn't planned. It never was. It was like gravity, impossible to fight, impossible to understand. Hardin's hand rested gently on her back, his thumb moving in small, absent circles, as if memorizing the shape of her again. He wanted to say something, anything that could make her believe he could be better. But every time he opened his mouth, the words disappeared. She tilted her head slightly, her hair brushing against his skin, and he felt a shiver run down his spine. "You can't keep doing this," she whispered finally, her voice quiet but steady. "You can't keep breaking me, and then trying to fix me with a kiss." Her words sank into the silence like rain, into dry ground. Hardin closed his eyes, pulling her a little closer, his lips brushing the top of her head. "I know," he murmured, "but I don't know how to stop." She sighed, her eyes half closed, torn between the truth and the touch she couldn't resist. Every part of her wanted to walk away, to end the pain. But being in his arms still felt like the only place she belonged. His breath tickled her ear when he whispered again, voice low, broken but honest. "You're the only thing that makes me feel alive." For a moment, time stopped. She looked up at him, eyes soft, searching for the boy she fell in love with beneath all the chaos. He met her gaze, and everything they had been through, every fight, every tear, every desperate kiss, seemed to fade into a single truth neither could deny. He leaned in, pressing his lips gently to her forehead, a kiss that wasn't about fire this time, but about staying. about choosing her, even when everything else was falling apart. She rested her hand against his chest, feeling his heartbeat steady beneath her palm. The warmth of his skin, the smell of him, the soft rhythm of his breathing, it all wrapped around her like a promise. Outside, the city lights shimmered through the window, and for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel lost. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring or if they'd find peace. But right then, in his arms, she knew one thing. No matter how many times they collided, they would always find their way back to the same fire, a fire that refused to die, no matter how hard they tried to put it out.